नमस्कार दोस्तों, वेलकम टू bizbotany। आज हम पढ़ेंगे चैप्टर नंबर फर्स्ट, रिप्रोडक्शन इन ऑर्गेनिजम्स। देयर आर मेनी नंबर ऑफ ऑर्गेनिजम्स आर प्रेजेंट इन द वर्ल्ड। They are live only for a certain period of time. Okay, that time, the period from birth to the death of an organisms, we call that period as a lifespan. The lifespan of organisms vary from one species to the other species. Some organisms can live for a few days, but some organisms like plants can live for thousands of years. The lifespan of species different from one organisms to the other organisms, and the lifespan of organism is not dependent on a size of the organisms. It is completely not dependent on the size of the organism. Suppose for example, the size of the parrot as well as a crow is almost similar, even though the lifespan of crow and parrot is different. Likely in the plants, the size of a mango tree and peepal tree almost similar, even though their lifespan is different. Mango tree can live for hundreds of years. What about the peepal tree? It can live for thousands of years. Okay, even though whatever its lifespan, the death of an individual organism is uncertainty. Okay, there is no individual is immortal. सभी को एक बार मरना ही है, except a single cell organisms. Except single cell organisms means just like a single cell organisms के अंदर कौन सा आएंगे? Viruses. Even though viruses are non-living things, when they are present inside the living organisms, living thing, they act like a living organisms. Like cancer cells. Cancer cells also, they are single cells, they are immortal cells. Either we need to forcefully kill these single cell organisms. यहाँ पर natural death देखने को नहीं मिलेगा, हमें इसे मारना पड़ेगा. In case of viruses also, viruses also, we need to kill the viruses by vaccines or other things. But what about cancer cells? We need to kill the cancer cells by giving a radiation, either by giving a chemicals, by a chemotherapy. There is no natural death will be occur in a single celled organisms. And whatever it is, this there are many number of species are present. Their generation is also continuing. In case of plants, we are seeing a different type of plants. Their generation will be continuing. That is possible by only a process that is nothing but a reproduction. Then what is reproduction? Reproduction is defined as it is a biological process in which an organisms give rise to a young ones or offsprings of similar to itself. जैसा कि ह्यूमन बींग्स को ही पैदा करेंगे, एनिमल्स को ही पैदा करेंगे, वैसा एक प्रोसेस को हम क्या बोल रहे हैं? रिप्रोडक्शन बोल रहे हैं. और एक बार बताऊंगा, इट इज डिफाइंड एज इट इज अ बायोलॉजिकल प्रोसेस इन विच एन ऑर्गेनिज्म गिव राइज टू young ones similar to itself. That process we call it as a reproduction in organisms varies from one organism to the other organism. There are many factors which affect the reproduction. Here the organisms habitat where they are living, their environmental conditions. Habitat nothing but environmental conditions, it internal physiology, the organism's internal physiology and other factors which affect the reproduction process. Here some on the basis of involvement of one organisms or one individual or two individuals. Here one organisms or two organisms, we classified reproduction into two types. One is asexual reproduction, other one is a sexual reproduction. On the basis of involvement of one parent or two parents, we classified the reproduction into two types. One is asexual reproduction, second one is a Sexual reproduction. What happen in a asexual reproduction? When offspring produced by a single organism, एक ही organism से offspring produce हो रहा, with or without formation of a gamete. Gamete formation होंगे या नहीं होंगे, without the formation of a gamete यहाँ पर offspring formation हो रहा by a single parent, single organism. Such type of reproduction we call it as a asexual type of reproduction. Second one is when two parents, male and female parents, participate in the reproductive process. Male and female parents participate in the reproductive process and also involve gamete fusions. Male gamete, female gamete fuse होके zygote बनेगा, zygote मल्टीप्लाई होके क्या बनेगा, एंग वन बनेगा, ऑफस्प्रिंग बनेगा. ओके, दैट प्रोसेस वी कॉल इट एज अ sexual reproduction. These are the two type of reproduction. They are helping for the continuing a generation from generation, one generation to the other generation. This sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction are crucial for the continuing a generation. This is something about the reproduction in organisms. Detail about the asexual reproduction will be seen in the next video. Thank you.